Hello and welcome back to Idiom Alicia. So this video is about how I learned Spanish through reggaeton. Okay, obviously I didn't learn it completely through reggaeton. I had a little bit of a background in Spanish. I knew some basic vocab and grammar before I started doing this, but I do attribute a lot of my language abilities to this. My pronunciation improved greatly. I was able to understand native speakers speaking at a normal speed, much more than I was before, and it has continuously helped me improve and improve. Also, learning new words naturally and easily and in context. So I'm going to talk about the core method that I developed through trial and error with various different add-ons and methods that I've seen online, and I've kind of narrowed it down to an exact streamlined method that I use when I'm approaching a song and want to use that in my Spanish practice, and also just learn it for my own benefit and be able to sing it whenever I hear the songs. I think it's really cool to be able to rap in your target language, and yeah, so let's get into that. Okay, so first step is find a song that you enjoy and you have not looked up the lyrics to. It can be anything that you've heard like 10 times. It doesn't matter if it's the first time you've heard it or if it's a song that you've liked but you don't understand all of the lyrics or you can't sing it yet. So I think a lot of the times when you start listening to music in your target language, you'll find genres and songs that you enjoy. So just pick one. If you need a list of recommendations, there are so many different playlists by country on Spotify. That's a good way to find songs. You can find like the top 50 hits in whatever country predominantly speaks the language that you're looking to learn. So after you have this song, I want you to get out a pen and a paper, and you're gonna listen to the song once through at normal speed. It helps if you look up the music video on YouTube. It doesn't have to be a music video, just make sure it's not a video that has the lyrics on the screen. So then you are going to listen to it once through, and with your pen and paper, you're going to write all of the lyrics that you can. You can pause the video as needed and make your best guess at all of the words listening to it at a normal speed. After that, on YouTube, there's a feature where you can change the speed of the video. You can maybe do this on Spotify and other apps, I'm not entirely sure. But what I use on YouTube is I change it down to 0.75 times of the original speed, so it's slowed down, and you're gonna listen to it once more at 0.75 speed. And do the same thing where you're pausing it as needed and writing down any of the lyrics. And as you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're really focusing on the way that they pronounce the different words and the letters. I think sometimes we, as native speakers of English or whatever your native language is, you tend to read the word as it is written, and sometimes when you are listening to songs, depending on the region, they might have shortcuts in the way that they say things, and it just depends on their dialect. But I think we can try and, or I think we typically try and instill like our preconceived notion of this word or our reading of the word rather than how it's actually pronounced in the song. So an example of that would be like cansado. Like I'm tired, estoy cansada. It has a D-A at the end, but a lot of times if you're listening to it in a song, depending on the country that the person's from, it would be like cansa. So they take out that D and they don't actually enunciate it. So that's one thing that you want to pay attention to as you're listening to the lyrics of a song. After you've gone through the song at 0.75 times speed, you're going to reduce it even further to 0.5 times speed if there's any words that you aren't entirely sure of. And this way you can, it also helps for faster parts of the song. If there's like a rap or a really fast part, you can listen to just that segment. It doesn't have to be the entire song at 0.5 times speed because sometimes it sounds really not pleasing to listen to and distorted. So listen to any parts that you need to on this 0.5 times speed. Once you get all of these, so you've gone through the 1 time, 0.75, and 0.5 times speed, you've listened to it all in as much detail as you can and made your best guess at all of the lyrics, then you can look up the actual lyrics to the song. At this point, it helps to take a different colored pen or whatever and make corrections for any words or phrases that you got wrong. So you're gonna have in your paper, you're gonna have your original guesses and then you cross out whatever words. At this point, you can look up any of the words that you don't know on a Spanish dictionary website or whatever language. Translate any words you don't know and write them down at the bottom. This way you have a better idea of what the person's saying. And also, if you understand individual words, it's a good idea to kind of, at this point, make sure that you understand what the entire song is saying. And this helps you just in the future when you're listening to the song, you'll like remember what that means and you'll recognize those words again and again. And that helps with that repetition to keep that word in your mind. And I've noticed that doing this, a lot of the words that I've heard in songs I've been able to use immediately in conversation because I have context for how it's used. Okay, so now that you have your corrected transcription of the song, if you are already very familiar with the song and have been singing it along in the car or whatever, you can go through at a normal 1 time speed and sing it with the lyrics in front of you and just practice until you can pronounce it and say it as the singer does and making sure that you're saying the actual right words this time. However, normally I go down to 0.75 times speed and I practice singing it at that slower speed, or if it's a really difficult part and I'm having trouble saying the lyrics at full, even 0.75 times speed, you go down to 0.5 and you just keep practicing that little section. It doesn't have to be the whole song, but you just keep practicing that little section until you can get it, and then you slowly, gradually increase the speed to 0.75 times and then 0.1 or 1 time normal speed. So you want to do this throughout the whole song. So I just do it in little sections, like maybe 10 seconds, 15, 20 seconds at a time as you work your way through the whole song. And then once you get to the end, then you can go through the whole thing at 0.75 times or 1 time, 1 normal velocity, and just sing it all at full pace with the lyrics. And eventually, if you do this a few times, you start learning the lyrics and memorizing it, and then you'll have it memorized and you won't even need the transcription. But that's if you just like really like the song and want to keep going along. But for this exercise, once I am able to sing that song at full speed and I understand it all, and I did the transcription back in the beginning, that is kind of the conclusion of this method and where I take the song to. And from doing this, it has, as I mentioned before, improved my pronunciation a ton. It's improved my listening comprehension and just the amount of vocabulary and words that I'm able to use in context. All right, that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching and hope to see you soon.